Oh yeah, look what came today. Heck yeah, my water deionizer. We're gonna open that up very soon and check this thing out. I'm pumped. Alright, it's time to open this thing up, see what this thing's about. And make sure hopefully there's no damage on it. Ah, 2 layers of tape, alright. Okay. Come on. That looks like these are the cartridges that are filled with the media. These things just fit. Okay. Nice. I couldn't really totally tell the size from the picture, but I was hoping I was actually going to take my pressure washer off the cart and maybe mount it on top of here, but it's a little small. I'm pumped though. I'm super excited to have this thing. So let me put it together and we'll see what's what. So here's what we got inside the box. So it comes with a handle to actually unscrew the cartridges, and then they actually threw in 2 hose nozzles, so that's actually a nice little bonus. You can never have too many of those. We got a stainless steel hose, and then we actually got some thread tape and the threaded fittings that screw into the filter itself. I'm not really quite sure what these metal pieces are for, so I'm gonna actually read this thing. Alright, I will say the build quality on these tanks are way above and beyond what I thought it was going to be. So here we got, that's the resin inside that actually takes the metals and the minerals out of the water. But look how thick the plastic is on this thing. I mean, this thing literally weighs a couple of pounds. So I'm super stoked with that. I mean, because this is going to be used for my business, you know, as a commercial piece of equipment. So this thing is really nice, and I think it's going to hold up really well. Alright, so these metal rings here actually slide on to the resin cartridge, and their purpose is actually to keep the cartridge centered within the tube. So that's what those are all about. Nice beefy O-ring too. It's all got lube on it already. So let's see how this thing is to screw in. Not as easy to line up as I thought it was going to be. There we go. That ring right on there. That's a little tight. There we go. Okay. Got two different coarseness threads, and the fine one is actually the one that threads into the unit itself. And there she is. Got a nice electronic TDS module on there. Measure the total dissolved solids of the water and tell you how much is actually in there that would be leaving spots. So I read in the literature it said it'll drop it down from 400 down to 20 parts per million, which is pretty dramatic. So the only thing left I have to do before getting this thing going is I'm actually going to build a bypass loop around here. So I'm only going to turn this thing on when I'm actually rinsing. And that way I kind of conserve on the media that's in there. So that'll be a quick trip to the hardware store, hopefully tomorrow if I can, and then we'll hook this thing up and give it a try. Alright, so I got this thing all hooked up, and I had gone to the hardware store this morning to create my own bypass, and I realized I didn't get quite what I needed for the inlet side of it, because I need to be able to block it here, and with them set up this way it doesn't really work at all as a bypass. So I'm either gonna have to get a valve to screw in here, or I'm gonna have to get couplers so I can actually flip this Y sideways and have one of these valves going to the inside of this, so I can actually cut off this and just use just regular hose water without being filtered, you know, for cleaning wheels and the rinse and stuff. But either way, I'm gonna try this thing out, and the Jeep desperately needs a wash. So we're gonna wash this thing up, and then what I'm gonna do is right toward the end, I'm actually gonna spray the hood down, and then set the camera up and literally just let it air dry without wiping it, and see if it leaves any water spots. So let me get to washing this thing, and then I'll set you up and see what we got. So this thing is actually on with the water running through it right now, and you can see we got 0 parts per million we're measuring, so that is absolutely ideal. So hopefully this thing won't be leaving water spots at all. So one of the other things I was thinking about is I'm kind of curious if the deionized water, because it's softer and doesn't have the hardness in it, if it's actually going to create better suds. So we got the Meguiar's Gold class in here, and let's see how she works. Oh, fan this baby out. Yeah, I think it actually does make more suds. You can see how well the Jetscar power lock does on there. That is crazy. Alright, so let me finish washing this thing, and then I'll get back to you. Alright, so wanted to get you guys in close. Check that out. It's one of the reasons I absolutely love Jetscar power lock. It is just, I'll try and get this from different angles so you guys can see. This is after a month, and the water still beads. Just unbelievable. That's so awesome. So I think it looks like this spot here is in the sun pretty well. So I'm actually going to set up the tripod and put the camera actually in time lapse, and I'm legitimately just going to let this thing air dry and see what happens. Alright, so we got that camera set up over there, obviously doing the time lapse, but I wanted to bring you guys over to the hood. And so the ceramic coating is still doing its job, both of them. I feel like the C quartz, which is on the right, has definitely been beating up a little bit better than the color and drive, but it's definitely still beating. But I will say this water deionizer seems to be working pretty well, because I'm not seeing any water spots. So it's actually kind of nice, just let this thing air dry. It kind of goes against everything that we've ever done or been taught, but I mean, it works. I mean, if that meter is reading 0 parts per million, there's nothing in the water to leave water spots. And if I do get water spots on here right now, I will say it's probably because all the trees are popping open and there's a ton of pollen falling. But man, that Jescar Power Lock is no joke. I actually like it better than ceramic coating. I mean, obviously it doesn't last as long, or repel stuff is good, but it's enjoyable to put on. And I mean, I'm getting anywhere from 3 to 6 months of water beating and protection out of it, and you can see, I mean, it's slick and black. It's looking good. It's starting to dry. It takes a while. I gotta be patient with this time lapse. All right, so I got a little impatient with the time lapse, but man, I am super impressed with the way this thing worked. There's a few little spots, but I'm pretty sure that's from pollen landing in the water and then drying. For the most part, this thing came out phenomenal, so I'm really psyched to be able to just wash my car and let it air dry and not have water spots. I mean, you can see the hood too, you know, where these spots are drying, but there's no hard water spots on here. So this is going to make a big difference too when I'm maintenance washing ceramic coated cars. After a few more tests, once I feel a little more comfortable 100% with this thing, I think we're gonna change up the procedure and maybe wash first and then just let the car air dry while I'm doing the interior, especially if it's a light colored car. So if you guys are on the fence about one of these CR Spotless systems, I would say that just go for it. This thing is friggin' awesome, and it's gonna cut a lot of time and effort out of my work. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.